Week, of course, we've seen Dave Chappelle get an awful lot of trouble for his new Netflix special. There have been calls to have the show removed from Netflix from various activists. People have called him, as usual, transphobic and homophobic, and all the usual accusations. What do we think, Lewis? Do you think Dave Chappelle should be pulled? Do you think rape jokes or dark jokes are ever acceptable or should be curtailed in some way?
Well, I think you can make rape jokes in the carnivore community. Among vegans and vegetarians, I think rape jokes, people are very sensitive about.
I can't even work out the connection there. Are you just saying vegans are sensitive?
No, I'm just saying that rape is a plant.
Oh, okay, all right. Far too. And what about?
I think that was good because it gets the audience. You know, they're going to have to thinking. They're going to have to listen to what this guy says.
Yeah.
Because it's not quite as simple as it's...
Lewis wanted to establish that he's a cerebral kind of performer, very sort of shrewd. So shrewd, in fact, a lot of people don't understand what you're saying. That happens quite a lot, don't they?
Well, it masks the not funniness.
Well, there is that. So what do you think about Dave Chappelle? I mean, do you think Dave Chappelle is a particularly controversial comic? Should he rein it in and be a bit more sensitive to current sensibilities?
Well, I was just glad he wasn't talking about the Jews. So he can say whatever he wants.
Actually, he was.
It was?
Yes, so he does have a joke about the Jews.
He does have a joke about the Jews.
Yes.
Well,
so you are included?
Yeah, then he should be banned completely.
Right, there we go. Yes, because it's always your thing, isn't it? This is what's fascinating about the people who complain about comedy and talk about the jokes that go too far. It's always the thing that offends them, and they're sort of fine with various other things, but when it touches their nerve... Do you find that, Nick? I mean, you're not a particularly controversial comic, are you?
Thanks, mate. No, I try and... well, what can I really say as a straight white man? I've got nothing, right? So I try and be very... I talk about dating and stuff, very simple. But Chappelle, you know, he's controversial. But this idea that we need to comment on comedy and say what's acceptable. If the audience laughs, it's acceptable and funny. If they don't, it's not. That's a great system.
Old-fashioned and reactionary of you. That's unbelievable.
That's all you need. We don't need this extra sort of commentary about whether it's allowed. The thing about this Chappelle thing, the person had a big problem with it. They kept saying... I'm in favour of free speech, but maybe there should be a panel that decides whether he gets to put this out, and maybe we should amend it, and maybe we should take it down. So not really in favour of free speech.
Not that much in favour of free speech. And that was interesting. One of the activists who said they don't know how it got through Netflix's internal processes and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So that is a call, essentially, for a kind of censorship. But I think with Dave Chappelle, it's interesting because Dave Chappelle, of course, cannot be cancelled. He's just way too big to be cancelled. And you get these sort of... these kind of figures, like Ricky Gervais and Dave Chappelle, they're always invoked to disprove the notion of cancel culture. But, of course, cancel culture doesn't affect the J.K. Rowlings of the world in this way. I mean, it does, but not in... You know, you're not going to cancel these people. You're not going to violate their contracts and get rid of them. But I worry about younger comics and new acts who come up and they see what happens whenever someone says something that's considered unorthodox. And people pile on, and it's very scary, and they don't think they're going to get anywhere in their career.
We saw it with Shane Gillis, because he was less one. I don't know if you saw this Shane Gillis story, but he got on SNL. It was like his live stream, Saturday Night Live. Then he immediately lost the gig before it even started for something he said on a podcast ages ago.
Yeah.
So because he didn't have the status of Chappelle, like you said, he just got cancelled.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any thoughts on this, Liz? You've never been cancelled.
People have tried to cancel me.
Really?
But you have to have something to be cancelled from.
You're too pure. Oh yeah, you need a degree of success, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I know personally, and I don't want to name drop, but Dave Chappelle tried to get me fired from when I was working in New York, because I'm from New York.
Is this true? I can never tell if you're telling the truth.
No, that is totally true. I thought I was a big shot, and I was working at this comedy club as the main guy there, but Dave Chappelle was bigger, and it was like his club, and he came in one night, and he could do whatever he wanted to do because he's Dave Chappelle, but there was another show coming in, so I'm saying, hey Dave, you got to get off the stage, and he was basically going on. He walked the entire audience. So even the best comedians, when they're doing their best material, can be failures. Okay, so
what are you saying, Lewis? That Dave Chappelle
if this doesn't work out for me tonight.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, wait a minute. I think we need to clarify this. So Dave Chappelle was threatened by you.
He wasn't threatened by me because I said to him, Dave, you got to get off the stage. There's another show coming in.
Interesting.
We got to clear the
Did he
room.
actually try and get you fired, though?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, I can't verify this, but I
Yes.
mean, that's an interesting twist to the tale, isn't it?
Yes.
If it is indeed true.
I mean, he must not have tried super hard. You know what I mean? But maybe he mentioned it, and maybe the guy who was my manager said, "Oh, it's all right. He's."
Well, okay, that's interesting. Let's go to another question.
Was that interesting?
Well, it was vaguely interesting. I think it might be good to go to another question that we might be able to verify as being rooted in truth.
It's not going to be one of those things where we can't broadcast it because we don't know if it's true. I'm telling you, it's coming from me.
No, we can say what we like, Lewis.
It's his lived experience.
It's his lived experience, and this is Free Speech Nation, right?